Welcome to my channel, Level Headed with Levi T. Please hit the subscribe button, the like button, and set the bell notification to all. Please also share this. Let's get into it.
Don't wait up, I've been working hard every day, living dreams for a pay stub, yeah, straight up. 5 years later, like I said, I would make it on my way up. It's all love, coming from the nation, made a foundation, true stuff, yeah, too tough. We ain't giving up on our dreams, everything is ahead of us. Stay true to your path, it's not where you start, it's all where you're at. It's where you end up when your back's to the mat. Do you cripple or flat or get up off your back? Deliver these facts to see them react. The stadium's packed, they all gonna snap. The motivated attract, the escalated attack, the frustrated hit back. Yeah, we move fast. I wanna change everything. I swear I'll do anything just to get where I wanna be. I won't stop till I'm free. I won't stop till I'm free. I won't stop, no. I won't let go. I won't drop, no. And I won't let go. I won't stop, no. I won't let go. It's automatic, I'm always getting after it. If you ain't working, I don't understand what's happening. There's not enough time just to be imagining. You gotta take some action towards practicing. I know it's not easy, but you gotta get out there. Make your own meaning, can't afford to have doubts. They'll interrupt here, man, I just wanna look out there. The crowd all screaming. I wanna change everything. I swear I'll do anything just to get where I wanna be. I won't stop till I'm free. I won't stop till I'm free. I won't stop, no. I won't let go. I won't drop, no. And I won't let go. I won't stop, no. I won't let go. I won't drop, no. And I won't let go. I won't stop, no. I won't let go. I won't drop, no. And I won't let go. I won't stop, no. I won't let go. I won't drop, no. And I won't let go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome in, welcome in. We're going to go back to square one, figure out who Lucian is and what may have happened here. Present, share screen. So here is Lucian. Anybody that's watching this that doesn't know who Lucian is a missing 5-year-old. He went missing on September 10th, 2022 from Yakima, Washington. There haven't been any updates for a while here. And some fellow members in the community. Hold on here 1 second. Let me unshare this. Fellow members in the community are, we want some answers from the police. I would agree. Answers from the police would be a very good thing. Get some clarification. Sorry, I was reading some messages that came in. What I want to do is go ahead and go back to square one here. And hello, Lana. Hello, Natasha. Hello, Elizabeth. Hello, Julie. Hello, Bling. Hello, Scott Watts. I'm going to go through some of the comments that and some questions that people have we're going to go back to a predator that was in the park that day. We're going to go back to the park a little bit and take a look. Elizabeth, do you want to come up? You can come up and speak if you'd like. If not, that's okay too. Waiting for her to respond, but I wanted to go back over the interview of what we know, what we don't know. The interview with the sisters, with the sisters, and see once what we can find there as well. Has all the water sources been checked? Has checked in the park area? So according to the sisters, and we'll go review back over what's been checked and what hasn't been checked. The other thing is that law enforcement has told them that the cameras don't work there at the park. And it'd be nice to hear that come out of their mouth, as we have to understand this is a criminal investigation, or investigation, however you want to look at it. There's a child missing, and we just need to find answers. Hello, Kelly. Welcome in, everybody coming in. I'm not going to put these comments up on screen, but sent you an email. However, my questions are, I was told by somebody surrounding Lucian that there were a couple incidents that day at the park with a guy taking pictures of two little girls, separate encounters. On the one little girl, the grandmother intercepted it. Can we verify that? I've asked numerous times and got no answers. I feel if that was true, that there... so there was this guy that, and I kept hinting to it, there was a guy in at the park that day. He was taking pictures and stuff. And I guess my question is has he been brought in for questioning? He was seen at the park that day. I spoke to some a very educated person, a retired law enforcement officer, about this. And I would like to know from the police if that guy was at least spoken to. The other thing that we found in that interview that I had was the hi Miami Spice was hi Jesse, hi Sluggy Sleuth. The other thing that I found interesting was the homeless encampments. So there's a couple things there. I feel that if that was true, that that's where Lucian is. I asked numerous times and got no answers, because personally I feel if that was true, that's where Lucian is, and I feel police are hiding it, which would be doing injustice to the little boy, having people search only the park area. If he was at the park, someone got his attention. Otherwise, he'd been in that water. We've had... can we pull up the police records on the encounter? Probably would have been called within 1 to 4 days. There's a lot of things here that have been sent over to me that I will get to. I'm not ignoring it. And hello, Lynn. I dropped the link if Elizabeth, if you want to come up and give some insight on what's going on there. Just 1 second here as I remove this and I'm trying to bring up the actual park again. So I have a question. So is he nonverbal? I was told he could talk a little. I'll add you. I was told he could talk a little. Not sure the words. So he could talk, Lynn. He can count to 10 very easily. They put him into a schooling earlier this year, and he's able to speak. He can say all the names to sea creatures, but he can't tell you what they do or what they are. But I'm sure he understands what the pictures are, and he can count to 10. I know that. Hello, good morning.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good.
Good.
So, if you'd like to speak on what I did see your post, and that was very well put, and I was poking around on their website a little bit.
Okay.
I guess my biggest thing, and that's in regards to the police department, is at least come out and say if they could clear those ponds and the other smaller ponds. Oh, you just want to post appropriately. He can speak. So his nonverbal, just 1 second, Elizabeth, and then I'll get into questions for you.
Okay, no problem.
The nonverbal stuff is he was nonverbal, so he can't hold a conversation. If you don't know him, he's not going to speak to you. He was in school to help with like 1, 2, 3, 4. I saw a video where he counted all the way up to 10 pretty easily, but repetition and other stuff and other work with him got him to know and understand some things. So he does speak, but I have a feeling if you called his name or whatever, I don't know if he'd respond. Maybe he would, maybe he wouldn't. All right. You want to explain what's
going on this side?
Yeah.
Okay, so I started a campaign, and a lot of people have actually joined on this campaign. We're trying to put pressure on the police department to come out and do a press release, some kind of update. We're not asking for any for them to release anything that shouldn't be released. We just want them to come and update. We haven't seen an update in, I believe, 3 weeks. They should be coming out and updating, I think, at least weekly, if not, every 2 or 3 days, and letting the community know what's going on, we just feel like it's crickets. Like they don't want anybody to know anything. And the more that they come out and do updates, the more press is going to be involved, the farther we can spread this into maybe a national forum instead of just within Washington State. And with them being quiet, that's just not happening. And the community is pretty much fed up with that. Our campaign is that we are posting on their Facebook posts. We're asking questions. People are direct messaging them. And I don't know if they can turn off direct messaging or if it just gets overwhelmed. But yesterday, it literally, nobody could send any more messages. So I don't know which way it is, but that's how many people have been messaging them. And this has only been going on for 2 or 3 days. And we do have a plan B or a phase 2 if they won't respond to us. And that is, we're actually going to do a rally in front of the police department with signs, and we're going to demand that they do something. We need to know what's going on. And a lot of people are really concerned that if we do have a predator, this predator could be targeting any other kids that are around. You know, this is something that we need to know. If we had a serial killer, I'm hoping that they would tell us that there's a serial killer, you know, watch out for yourselves, don't go anywhere by yourselves, things like that. But we're just not hearing anything from them. They're silent. And they're not even like trying to defend themselves or anything. They're just completely silent. So I was hoping, because you do get quite a few views on your YouTube, I hope that maybe people would join with us. It would be Yakima Police Department, and send them a direct message and let them know that we need answers. We don't want evidence. We don't want them finger pointing at anybody. We just need to know what's going on. And are they actively still investigating it, or is it going up on a shelf somewhere? And it's not going to be tolerated anymore. We're just going to bug them until this happens. So that's what we're doing.
For the viewers out there, this is a concerned local citizen, longtime resident of Yakima. The bottom line is it's about Lucian, and I guess I was looking for a press update after FBI was there. After they search the waterways, like they have enough, even if it's a 5-minute, even if they do a 5-minute little press update and give updates and on the water was searched, there was no update, and if they found anything that they did or they didn't, I don't understand. In some of these other cases, the police are very transparent and will come out with information when they have information. But you would think after they made news media there that no, I know, but the FBI searched the water there, so at least if Yakima's the head of the investigation here, they should at least came out and said if they found something, if they didn't find anything, or if the water was cleared. I guess is the way that I see it. Does that make sense?
It makes sense to me. You know, and just saying, hey, we have 1 detective that's working on this, 2 detectives this is working on this, or we have so many cases we can't do full-time working on this. Everything would be helpful. And all this is doing with them not talking is spreading the speculation so wide. And everybody just is going like, well, you know, we're going to have to investigate this because these guys aren't doing anything. If they would just give us the littlest bit of information, say on their Facebook page, you know, police say we're still actively investigating Lucian's case. We have 3 detectives full-time on this. I think it would really kind of calm people down a little bit. But we know nothing because they just refuse to say anything.
Hey, Lana, if you have a minute and can come up here. Lana helps in the Michael Vaughn case. And she has very good insight as we've been down this road. She makes a good, valid point. Bugging LE won't, what do they say? Will only waste further resources. Hit up the news stations. They'll get the answers faster.
I have. I've been messaging the news stations, asking them questions. They won't answer me. I've gone to hitting some of the nation, people who have a lot of followers, who have not necessarily news stations either. I mean, I have news stations, but people who have a lot of followers, who probably have millions of followers, asking them, begging them to please help us because we can't get any answers. The police won't help us. Please bring this to the forefront. Make this a national story so we can get resources and we can get some answers and clarification on stuff. So I have been doing that, and I know there are other people doing that also. I have a lot of people who responded to my posts that I've been making about this campaign that I have, and it's become our campaign, not my campaign, our campaign. There are lots and lots of people who are 100% into this, and I appreciate that so much. Because when I first started, I was like, I hope this goes over well, and everybody's, oh, absolutely. Not everybody, but the people who are agreeing that this is something that needs to be done. So I appreciate that. And if anyone's listening, I just want you to know how much I appreciate all the help that you're doing or providing. And we just need to keep this up until we get some answers.
Hello, Lana. You're on mute if you didn't know.
Hello, Levi.
Hi.
Elizabeth.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well. I was just listening. I take it that, from my understanding, you are simply a community member who's been affected by Lucian's disappearance and came to the call and are working on the case. Am I correct?
Well, actually, I am a distant family member.
Distant family. Okay.
Yeah, the Lucian's grandmother is my cousin.
Okay.
And we and myself and a couple of other family members who really don't know them much anymore because it's been a lot of years, between that stuff. We have questions, and I don't want to bash. I'm not.
I understood who you were and what the relation was. And I also wanted to just express to you that I really feel your pain and frustrations in this process. As Levi said, I help with Michael Vaughn's case. I'm not related to Michael Vaughn like you are to Lucian. I'm a community member who started to just help with the group, the Facebook group, and media outreach because I worked in marketing and I know a lot of media people in the Boise area, so I was able to help with that. And it's grown from there to where I'm now helping. I don't want to go into it, but there's a nonprofit that I'm working with that's helping a lot of families in this way. I did speak to one of the sisters over Messenger, just so you know, and everyone else. I gave her some resources, some other nonprofits that the family, Michael Vaughn's family, has been working with that we found that help spread the information, that provide all kinds of resources and have been really beneficial. And I gave those to her, as well as some national news media contacts. My best advice to you is I understand the frustration on wanting LA to do more press conferences, because that's one, and I mean, level-headed can tell you, I get really frustrated sometimes with Fruitland, and I'm like, oh, they should tell us more, and they should be doing more press conferences, and we, the community, need to know more. And it is frustrating, and sometimes you do feel like your pleas are falling on deaf ears. And I really want to assure you that I don't feel that's the case. That usually what it is that all of their resources they have are going into finding Lucian and handling, a lot of like this kind of stuff, people calling them and asking questions just takes up that resource. But I also know that I agree with you. There's things that in Lucian's case, they have not said, that they could say, like you said, they could say, we have FBI and other agencies and, so on. They could have a press conference that says, okay, it's been this many weeks. Here's who all we have involved. Here's what water areas we've cleared. There's some of that they could give the public. So I do understand that. the best bet really for you and Lucian's family is to continue. I know you said you've emailed everyone locally and all of that, but try to find a reporter at one of those local stations that will become invested, that, you know, because there's going to be someone. We have quite a few in Michael's case that even though they've moved on to other jobs, like, are still invested in Michael, you know. And anytime we need news coverage, anything we have going on, like, we can hit them up and, you know, they'll be there. And so I think it's about trying to, you know, just develop that relationship rather than like flooding tip lines. And I'm talking for you. You still want your group to be flooding the tip lines, if you catch my drift, Elizabeth.
Right.
But you specifically should try to, you know, just dig a little deeper in the news outlets that are around there, maybe emailing. And this is consistently, because it does take consistent daily efforts to get that. And people don't widely understand that when children go missing, the news stations are not beating your door down to run their story. It's the other way around. It does take pitching, it does take time. If you want to message me privately, if you have any questions or need any assistance, I absolutely would love to have a conversation with you and give you some more ideas and tips and how I can maybe possibly help you find some local news stations that will, you know, lend their ear and become more invested in Lucian and help keep his face out there. Because statistically, children are in the area. They're taken by someone in the area and found less than 5 miles from where they were taken.
Right.
So it is the most, I mean, while it's vital to keep their faces out there globally and nationally, yes, because they could be anywhere, you know, they can disappear at a mile a minute in a vehicle. So we do need to focus on that too. But your community there in Yakima is pivotal, and keeping them invested in Lucian is definitely the work.
Yes, yes. And I have been contacting the local news, and other people have been contacting the local news. But, you know, I was thinking yesterday, and that so many people have pulled the plug and they no longer have like cable and stuff that has local news and on it, that basically they're live streaming and they watch certain shows and they watch certain people and stuff like, and, you know, stuff like that. So that's where I was thinking more of national, because I think a lot of people who just live stream, which probably are 90% of the people who I know,
And
don't
you're
necessarily
accurate in
watch the
that.
news.
You're absolutely accurate in that, but these local stations, they live stream everything on their YouTubes and their Facebooks and all of that. So your local news outlets are still, like, you know, superbly important to keeping, you know, a relationship with them,
Right.
because they will
Oh yeah.
stream it there as
And
well.
then we are doing that. I mean, we are doing that. We're keeping them in the loop and asking them to help and stuff like that. But I think that your idea of like maybe just personally, because I think if you go onto their websites and stuff, you can see contact information for individual people. And I think that would
Yeah,
be a
and you'd
really
be
good idea.
surprised too, like Twitter, you know, you would be surprised. Go, if you're on Twitter and your family's on Twitter, go there and see which reporters in the Yakima area. There's one, I can't remember his name. I'm gonna see if I can look it up. Maybe Levi knows, but there was somebody from Washington that's pretty big that was reporting on Oakley Carlson's case from northern Washington.
Right.
And he's stayed very involved, and being Washington, he might be, you know, a good person to hit up. I just need to find his name. But yeah, those are all great ideas. And again, I'm here if you want to reach out in private. I can get Levi can get you my contact.
Right. And we are happy to have any resources that we can have. It would be absolutely fantastic. And excuse me, my allergies today. We just, you know, this is something that, and I've talked to several people and stuff. This is something that we've taken very, very personal as a community. This is very personal to us. We've, you know, a lot of people feel that he's part of their family. And it's very frustrating to go this far, this long without police keeping contact with us, because that's the only way we're going to get information. We're not going to get it, from anybody other than them, because they know the circumstances and what's happening. And we just feel that, as a community, we need to do something about it. We need to do something to help this along. And so we are absolutely open to any suggestions, any contacts we can make, any of that. There are, I would say, hundreds of people who will be willing to work at it, contact people. So yeah, bring it on. Flood us with that information, because we have to do this. And
and that's what it takes. Is what it takes. I'm glad to hear that Lucian's got such a strong army and community around him that love him. I did watch the press conference with his parents, and it broke my heart. It feels like, I was glad that the law enforcement did come out immediately for the family and say that there looked like there was no signs of, foul play, and that they had him confirmed walking away from the park on his own, because like in Michael's case, it took over a year for law enforcement to publicly say the family is not the focus, and that was a difficult path for them, to have to beat up, to fight all the social media theories and whatnot, where they were at home and Lucian's family was at a park. So, a little bit of difference there, because that definitely does help them as a family. But also keep in mind, I've learned just from Brandy and Tyler directly, law enforcement doesn't even tell the parents all the information. There was a lot of things that, would come out. I mean, for example, I first met Brandy right before the Christmas vigil that they had for Michael. And just that month, there had been an article where it stated that police had done a big search outside of Weiser, a town like 20 miles away. And I asked her about that, and she said she didn't even know about it until she saw the article as well, because the integrity of the case, and Lucian's safe recovery is more important than even the parents getting a play-by-play. And that's what really hit me in that moment. And I just want to share that with you. So when you are feeling those frustrations of not getting enough information from law enforcement, just try to remember that they do have to keep his safe recovery more important than even the community or social media getting, all the information we sometimes feel we need when we are fearful and the community is scared. And I hear your words in that. My best friend growing up lives in PLEA, the neighboring town to Fruitland, where we grew up. And she has children still in school, and to this day will not let her kids play in the front yard, because of what happened to Michael, and has even had a couple of times where, the kids took off down the road on their bikes or whatever without telling her, and she flipped her lid because it really freaked her out because they hadn't communicated to her. And, but it's a small rural area, and again, kids feel safe to do those things, but it has impacted the entire community. So I have no doubts that Yakima and the area is very impacted by this. And I'm glad to hear that they're standing up with you and helping. That's definitely going to be what's needed to keep his face out there, and to have, that tip come out to help him come home.
Right. I did want to make one other thing is, I live on a road that is very visual. It's pretty much one of the main roads in our town in Yakima. And I have visual from both east and west. And I am right now trying to find, there are some banners out. And right now I am trying to find out who's making those banners, because I will personally purchase those banners. And I want one in English and one in Spanish to put on my fence, so that they are very visible for anybody who is driving by. And I know if people are driving by, they're not going to grab a, phone number or whatever, but they may look it up later. And I'm asking people.
Also, you can put a QR code on them, and they can get that QR code and direct it to wherever you want. So,
right.
Yeah, and I would imagine just what's happened with Michael and other kids is a lot of times community members like you just want to do something. We had people that just did things like that, put signs up, banners. There's pizza company in the community that has, like 10 locations in the valley, and on Michael's birthday and the one year, like painted all their windows with monkeys and bring monkey home. And like, we didn't know that was happening until we saw it,
Right.
So sometimes it's just that it's the community trying to stand out. Maybe just go to where those banners are hung and ask them. And
I've
see
already
who they
done
got
that.
it from.
Yeah, I've done that. And so I'm working on that.
Perfect.
Finding out where,
Perfect.
because I don't want to reinvent the wheel. If somebody's already making them, then I'll go to that source and get them.
I agree. There was already a lot of artwork and posters done when I came in to volunteer and help. So I just kind of, jumped on the wheel and utilized those tools and continue to spread it. And that's all great. That's all great.
Right. Right. And what I was going to say is I am inviting people from our community to do the same. If they're in a very visible place, if they're in a place that gets a lot of traffic, that it will be seen, literally mine would be seen by thousands of people a day, that if they can't afford it, then we can find somebody
who. Do you have a billboard company in the area? Because we had a company donate billboards, digital billboards, for a long time. And
they have. There is a billboard that has his picture and missing on it. If people would like to do banners and they cannot afford it, we will find somebody who will finance that for them. So, so anybody who maybe doesn't have the funds to help could help by using their property.
Right.
And we will absolutely find the funds to make sure that happens, that they can in their own way help the community with finding Lucian.
That's wonderful. My heart goes out to you, and I'm so glad that you're stepping up, Elizabeth, and helping your family. Even as you said, your distant family, but that doesn't weaken the amount of love that you clearly have for this boy is so strong. And I'm glad that you're there, because that's what this family is going to need, is people like you and additional community members to step up and support and show love and keep working to find Lucian, because he's out there, he's right there somewhere in that area of that park. In my mind, he's not far, so it's just a matter of hitting the grounds and keeping those posters and banners out there and keep going. You guys are doing all the right things.
Yes, thank you very much. And I can tell you personally, there are tons of people who they feel like he's part of their family, that there's people grieving out here. There's people grieving. He's an innocent little boy who has disappeared and nobody knows what's happened to him. And as a community, we're grieving. And so people need support, and they also need to know that they're not the only ones grieving for him.
No, true. And I did join a community group that the family's running. I think are you part of that group?
No, I have problems with that group, so I am not a part of that group. I mean, it's open page, so you can look.
It's just one that fell on my Facebook notifications, and I joined it. But regardless, my point is, Facebook groups is a good way to spread that information and keep people accessible to his posters, accessible to whatever efforts you might be doing. Right. Yard signs are a good one. We had a bunch of those going for a minute, and a lot of people donated to that. And same thing, like people could quickly put, just like you would a political sign in your yard, a yard sign for Lucian in their yard. And they're like less than $10, honestly, to print. So it's a really good one too, which I can help with.
Hi there.
Well, so.
Right. And I was thinking banners, because they are more permanent, because there is a problem with some people are going around and they're actually
hear me?
Hello?
Hi, my name is Amy. I'm the aunt of Lucian. I just saw that Liz was a part of this live stream, and I see that she's making statements that she's helping the family. She's also here to support the family, which is all super false. And
I never said that, Amy. I never said that one time on this. You're not even listening, Amy. No, I'm not going to argue with you. You need to stop.
I came on here right now to discuss this. You're interrupting me, Liz, so don't interrupt me.
You interrupted a
You
conversation that I was having.
You have said that you have are looking for ways to get banners and copies. You have every opportunity to message us because we have all of those places set up, all of the banners to be made. We have all of those things. Not once have you reached out to us to ask us how to help or what to do. You just joined the hate Facebook page and just started blasting the family.
No,
You have
that's
there's
not
not
true.
been one. Yeah, it is
This
true. You
this
have
is
the
not a
proof of this,
platform
Liz.
for you to come here and personally attack me because you don't know what
I
you're
was sent a
talking
link.
about.
Liz, I do know what I was talking about. I have
No,
been
you
actively
don't.
looking. Yes, I do.
You don't know
Yes, I
anything that
do.
you're talking about.
Yes, I do,
I
Liz.
never said that I was working with the family. I
No,
never
you
said
said that you
I said I was
supported the
working with
family
a
and you
group
love
of
the family.
people.
You do not.
I said I loved Lucian. I didn't say that I
You
loved the
don't know
family. I said
Lucian.
I
You
loved
the first time
Lucian.
you met Lucian,
It
you met
doesn't
Lucian once.
matter. It
And then
doesn't
if
matter
you
if
love
I've met
Lucian,
him
you
or
would
not.
if
What
you
is your
love Lucian,
problem?
you are my problem. You and your family and the way that you've treated us since then, you
Oh,
have
really?
not been open to be helping us whatsoever. You say you're looking for a banner to put on your thing, which we have that. We have those made. Not once have you asked us for that information. We
I
reported.
asked John for the information. You don't know what you're talking
I
about.
do know what I'm talking about.
No, you don't. You
Yes,
don't know what you're talking
yes,
about. You guys have
Hey,
been
I'm
nothing
gonna
but
ask both of you for
but
just a second
cruel
before
to
this.
people.
Hey, no, Elizabeth, I'm gonna ask both of you for just a second to just take a breath. I can feel and hear and see it clearly. There is a lot of emotions. Hi, Amy. I know we've had some chats. She was the sister I was referencing that I sent some resources to a message earlier regarding helping Lucian. And I really want, again, just take a breath. Let's try to put this focus back on Lucian and
Yes.
resources for Lucian. I invite Elizabeth, just because of the little discussion that you and I were having before Amy came on panel.
I decided to get on panel because I was on the live watching and I heard people saying that she has been supported to the family, but she has not been supported to the family.
I never said that.
Not you, Liz.
Re-listen to it because I never said that at all.
If I could mute you, I would mute you so you could just stop for a second, because I don't want this to turn into something that has for other families, is all I'm saying. I know, I understand. I mean, I don't know. I should delete that word. I understand there's tensions here because you guys, I can hear it. I can hear both of your voices cracking with the real, genuine emotion that is behind what is going on. And I'm just going to invite you, Elizabeth, it sounds like to me Amy has channels open to get information to be able to do what you're wanting to do and help. And I'm just going to invite the two of you to try and do that off panel so we don't create some sort of drama on here that people can latch on and use to further attack families, because that's what I see happen whenever emotional discussions take place on panels. They will take it and chop it up and attack your family further and use it for further fodder to take attention away from Lucian. And that's all I want to say. If you guys want to, I'm going to let Level jump back on because this is actually his panel.
I'm here. You're fine.
Amy,
you're fine.
You know, I'm 100% here for additional resources.
I muted them so that you could talk and say your piece.
Okay. Well, I'm just going
to
speak to them then, that, you know, that both of them, and my heart is so with you, Amy, as an aunt. And you know that I'm an auntie too of a little guy. And,
yeah, I didn't come on here to start.
Attacking families is never okay. I've seen that happen. You know, so many people attack Michael's family. So my heart goes out to you, and she could give you the biggest hug for any of that happening to your family right now.
I didn't come on here to start arguing. It was more the fact that I saw that there was like false support being.
Yeah.
I don't want her to be known to be a supporter of the family while she's also on this hate Facebook page.
Right.
And we do have these resources for her to have. It's just the point that if somebody has been directly outspoken about our family, it's not fair to us for them to be on a panel like this saying that they are like supporting Lucian's case in a way when they are hurting the family, especially when they are supposed to be family.
Right.
And that's
And
why I
get
came
that
on
because
to
I get
join.
lit up just on the side. I've had so many, you can ask Level, so many times people go up on panel and talk about Michael's family and situations that they don't understand. So I validate what you're saying as well, Amy. And again, I don't know what's being said in other groups and things, you know, by Elizabeth or anyone else, you know, because I'm not part of that. I'm just part of your one group that I joined so I could help you guys, you know, with some resources and help a little bit. But that kind of stuff is very damaging. So I really hope that it's not going on. It does sound like, at least this conversation, I know you're listening in chat, it just feels like to me that Elizabeth does want some resources and does want to help spread information. And I hope that's the case. And I will be here to help anyone with any resources I found.
And we don't mind other people helping with resources or spreading information. It's just the fact that the spread of false information is
Absolutely.
where it's
Oh,
damaging.
yep.
And then also like looking for help, but also not like wanting to involve the family in helping.
Yes.
It's just, it's makes it more difficult for us. It's not, we want Lucian's face and name and his case out there as much as possible and everybody to see it. But we want that with the correct information. To be giving information like the family is involved in of his missing case, which was ruled out within the first few days. That information is like damaging to his case and his family because then people focus on those things.
Yes, they do.
It's just, yes. And we would like, we heard her say that she has a house on a main street. Yes, a banner would be absolutely helpful to be on there. And if she was willing to do that, then we have the contacts and the means and the ability to be able to get that for her. It's just the fact that she has not asked the family for these resources or for ways to help.
Okay.
Well, can we get?
Can I talk?
You can go ahead.
And I'm not going to be interrupted because I was very respectful and didn't interrupt.
I think
Yes.
that's why I had everyone take a breath, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
So,
And I'm
you
sorry
know,
if I got angry.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so you and Amy could take turns. Yeah.
I've been talking on here for a while, and I don't recall bashing the family. I don't on this live. I don't recall saying I was working with the family. I don't think that I said that.
I think it was me that said that. That said you
Okay.
were working with the
Yeah,
family.
I'm not. We are not working with the family. I said we were a community group who was concerned about Lucian. We are concerned about Lucian. Period. And just because we have our own campaign to help find Lucian and we haven't included the family, I don't think that is a super bad thing. You know, people, he might be part of my extended family, but I have already pointed out that as a community, we feel like he's part of the family. People are heartbroken about this. We might not agree with what the family's doing. I'm not going to bash them on a live show, but someone coming up and personally attacking me when they're not telling truths when they do that, you all can listen to this video. I never personally attacked the family. I didn't say what she said that I was saying on here. We're talking about today, we're talking about this panel, we're talking about Lucian, not about Amy and not about the family. That we might get to that later. But I don't appreciate being personally attacked. And this is what Amy does. She doesn't agree with you, she personally attacks you. And that's why most people don't want to talk to the families, because if they're not agreed, if someone says something that upsets them or they don't agree with it, they personally attack that person. And this is why they have lost so
This is why I have to interrupt, Liz, because that's blatant lie. You have no proof of that. We do not personally, you and your family have been on that page saying that straight out lies, and we have the screenshots of these messages to prove this. Yeah.
I also have screenshots of messages that you've sent that you have personally attacked me. So we can sit
not
here and
once
argue
have I
about
said
that.
Okay. So I'm gonna interject again because I want to respond to what Elizabeth just said. And so we can hopefully keep this without getting more heated again. Elizabeth, what you just said about being a private group of community citizens that love Lucian, respect, that he's gone and want to help and are, I mean, I can hear the emotion quivering in your voice. That's genuine when you're saying those words. And I agree with you that there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Where I fall in the gray side is where you continue past that point about if you don't agree with the family, then you can go and do something different. And I think, and again, I don't know what's going on in these groups, so I want to preface that to the chat room as well. As you and Amy, you both know, I don't know what's been said, the screenshots, the receipts, all of this, and I don't want to open up and have us go down that panel. So I'm going to preface this with that. But I personally, from what I have personally experienced with Michael Vaughn's family, don't agree that people can just take a stand of, I'm a volunteer and I'm doing this for the kids, so therefore I can do it how I want and, not listen to the family or respect their boundaries. So I'm hoping that when you and this community group are out there doing this community work, and if you don't agree with the family, that's fine. I'm not saying that, we're all human. We all disagree with how people are handling doing things XYZ. And you're allowed to have those opinions. You're allowed to be as frustrated with law enforcement as you are, because we were talking about that before. All of those things are valid. I've experienced them too. I'm just going to say, hopefully, please try to keep your mindset in that space that everyone else is also going through this, even if you don't agree with them, and respect the family's boundaries as much as you want, like, your boundaries respected too. Because it's really hard when there's a missing child at the forefront of this and everyone's emotions are really, really high. So that's just wanted to add to that I do validate some of what you're saying. And I also understand like where Amy's coming from, feeling attacked by other groups, social media, all the other things that the family, is having come at them that, might not be you, but some of the things that, you and Amy have going on personally behind the scenes are adding to that. So it sounds like I would encourage you to maybe reach out and get these resources that she's offered a couple of times, the banners and things like that, because I can feel it from your heart that you really do love this little boy and want to put those banners up and help. And then I would just advise any frustrations, both of you, and this is to anyone who's family of a missing child, to not air those out on public forums.
Oh, sure.
You know.
And I'm really sorry about that. I know better that I'm more mature than that, but it just kind of hit me all of a sudden. So, but I do want to make the point that as of right now, the people that are helping me, the people that we are working as a group, we have a very large platform. And I think the platform is probably a little larger than what the family is. And I don't know that for sure. I'm just assuming. There's nothing that I can guarantee. And so at this, I'd like to talk before I get interrupted, please. So even though that we're not working with the family directly, we're still helping the family with the platform that we have. We're still helping them find Lucian. We're still working to get this at a national, into a national forum, so that this is done nationally and not just locally. We're working and we're putting a lot of hours into this. We're putting a lot of work into it. This is all personal stuff, then our personal time that we're putting into this. And we have reasons why we're not working with the family. I'm not going to say anything bad about the family. I'm not going to drag them through the mud or anything like that, which that's not the right thing to do.
I think that's what I hear. I think that's all they're asking is you and anyone else. Just knowing from, again, speaking from my personal experience with Brandy and Tyler, Brandy and Tyler have always been exuberantly grateful for anyone and everyone that wanted to help put Monkey's face out there, right? There was certain like social media groups that were like attacking them and other things that were taking place, and those people were doing it while also sharing Michael's information because they felt there was a justification in that, because they were also putting their personal time into it, their emotions, their money, and getting invested. So I'm just going to offer my advice, just while it is personal to you and he is extended family and also your community, as we spoke before, in totality, how communities get affected by this. I just invite you to just be cautious to not take it personally, you know, and as it can happen to all of us because we are human, you know.
Just with
so
that, the thing about that is we are like grateful for everybody who helps, and even the people who like bash us online about it. But the platform she's referring to, it's a platform that has specifically threatened to harm the family, to rape the sisters, and yes, things like that. It's a platform that is constantly harassing the family. Our detectives have like warned us about going out in public on our own because of the threats and things that they've seen online on the platform that's being used. That's where our problem is coming from. I saw
that's
Liz's
something
post.
I'm very passionate about fighting against, as I told you, as Levi introduced me to your family. That's something that I'm working adamantly against, along with alert reform. So I can, those kinds of platforms and people, I hope that's not
Yeah,
you,
that's the reason why
Elizabeth,
we're being so defensive against Liz, is because
right.
the platform she's saying is that platform. There are people on that platform that don't agree with the family that I'm in,
Right.
that I message with at least once a week. And they're asking me information, or they'll send me a screenshot of something and we can discuss those things.
Right.
That's never been a thing between Liz and I. We've never had a private conversation. It's all things that are in the comments. That's where this defense comes in towards her, because we see her on this live, and we did see her campaign that she posted on her page about going to the YPD Facebook page and flooding the comments, which we think that was a great idea.
Yeah.
And we think that we went and looked at all the comments, and all the comments are that, and that was amazing. That's something that we would also like to have, like, oh yeah, we should also be commenting things. We should post that on our page so those followers can go and comment on that page.
And I hope if there's anything that comes from this, Amy, that, you know, again, like I said before, that you and Elizabeth, whatever the personal behind the scenes things that all of us don't know and don't need to know, because it just makes things worse on social media for everyone, especially Lucian. But that hopefully you can at least, you know, all be sharing those resources, because
the thing with that is there is no behind the scenes thing. It's all just her comments on the that Facebook page, and in the posts, on public posts on that.
But you don't know that, because behind the scenes are behind the scenes that are not public.
Behind the scenes between you and I.
No, there won't be either. But
there will not be.
You
no,
know,
I
but
agree.
the thing is this group,
if there is any public bashing of the family and you're in that group or adding to it, and I'm not accusing you, I'm just speaking hypothetically, because if you are, that does only add to problems, because you should keep that behind the scenes if you're speaking in a public forum about it, is what she's saying.
If you look at my posts, and I may have commented on something or whatever. First of all, I have never seen anybody threaten the family on that post. I have personally not seen that. I'm not saying it's not there. I have not personally seen it. And many of my posts say, please, please don't put anything negative on this. This is not about negative. This is positive. This is this. But if you're going to judge me because of a few people on a post who have thousands and thousands of followers, you can't judge people on that. That's ridiculous, because there's a huge platform there for good. And if people say negative stuff, that's not my fault.
But Liz
So why would you
specifically,
judge me for something that I
So
have no
I'm not
control
saying
over?
it's your fault.
That's
No, I'm
what
not saying it's your fault.
she's
It's the
saying.
platform.
She's
I'm not
saying
yeah,
that
Liz,
I'm on
but
that platform, and so she's judging me for being on a platform.
Well, because if
we're
you're on a platform and supporting it and commenting it, then you're supporting the platform.
and I
Well,
think that
there's
the
90%
biggest
of the people on the
person,
platform
If
don't
you
make
follow
bad
Nancy
comments.
Grace, if you follow Nancy Grace and you like Nancy Grace and you comment on Nancy Grace's posts and you engage in the community of Nancy Grace, then you support Nancy Grace. That's the
and you're
same thing to Facebook groups and other platforms. If you're on there and you have, and if you have and you have not, that's going to be for you to go back and look upon. I said shit on social media I shouldn't have, Elizabeth. I am no freaking angel. Okay.
Neither am I. I'm not an angel, and I have said some stuff
So-
that shouldn't have been said. I agree to
I'm
that.
inviting you, as I don't know you, this is our only interaction today. I'm inviting you, if you are in a platform that is hurting the family, as Amy has shared openly and honestly with you, that this platform you're participating in, the family feels they're being hurt. It's up to you to decide what you're going to do with that information going forth.
and you're
Well, and I do have to say that the platform that the family is doing, they're very hateful and stuff too. If they don't like a post, they delete you. They blank you.
No, it's our post is not on there to be
Hundreds of people have
speculation.
said that.
No,
Amy, there's
you can
a
go there.
reason
Go
why
join
you
the
have
post,
lost
Liz.
so
That is just a
so
blatant
many
lie.
people.
Levi is a part of the group. There is no post. We don't approve.
I'm done. I'm not gonna argue with you because you're
speculation towards the family
ridiculous.
because it's not a speculation page. It's a page about facts. It's about leads. It's for us to get
keep it
leads.
that way.
Yeah, that's exactly what we've been advised
I'm not
to.
the admin of Michael's group. It was set up by someone else, and there's only one admin, and she owns it, and she made the rules. The rest of us are moderators, and the main rule, number one rule, is there's no speculation in case discussions. It's a community support group to support the family.
Exactly.
And share information. So I applaud you for that, and I advise you to keep it that way. And I see that Elizabeth dropped out, and I'm sorry that she felt frustrated and dropped out. I do hope that you guys, if she's still listening, I want to reiterate that I felt like there was a lot of genuine, concern for Lucian, that she wants to,
it's the fact that she's using that
things. Yeah,
finding
so
Lucian.
I hope she does follow through and do them. And I'm sorry that your family has experienced additional bashing and pain.
It's not just bashing and pain that we're experiencing through this page that she's a part of. We have directly lost volunteers and outside resources because of this page. There has been off-duty SWAT teams.
That happened to us with Michael. There was a huge dip in people because of Twitter groups and their, theories.
It's not just the fact that we lost volunteers. It's the fact that we're losing resources that have actual experience and who would have been the best bet for Lucian to be found quicker. The fact that we're losing those resources because of this page, like it's hard for us to be as a family, like hear that there's this live with this person on there. And I can absolutely guarantee you she will be on Facebook bashing me on these things, just like she has been before. And you can see her lies, because I don't know if Levi is part of the Facebook group. We don't have any hate on our Facebook group. We don't approve all of the posts, because if there's tips and leads that are on the post, we're not gonna post those. We're gonna follow up on them, and then we usually send a comment or send a message to that person privately to get more information.
That's exactly what we do too. That's our process on our group also.
Yes. It's just the fact that we see that she was a part of here claiming to be helpful. Yes, she did have that good idea of flooding the YPD's Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
However, she being supportive and part of the group that has been deteriorating the case for Lucian and has been derailing it and has lost volunteers, has lost resources. Yes. They make time to look up make up memes of us. They come and they harass the family at the park to videotape them. Both of the times we've been really active in the homeless community. There's underground bunkers. We spoke to Levi about this. They came and they derailed one of our we had a homeless man who said that he knew where some were at and that he was willing to show us. And then somebody came and videotaped him, the man, and we haven't been able to find him since. And those are bunkers that we were unable to search for Lucian.
Oh my gosh.
Like, it's things that are like that
No, I
aren't
get it. I'm
helpful for
so
his
sorry
case.
that happened. That just breaks my heart and brings tears to my eyes because like I feel it in my heart. You know, we put up a community event for Michael Vaughn's birthday and somebody showed up that was in our Facebook group, then pretended to support the family, hugged them, cried with them, and then 2 days later went on YouTube and called them guilty crackheads. So
And that's
people are
coming a
deplorable
lot on
with
this
how they
page.
act.
That's coming a lot on this page, and her saying that she had no idea this was happening. Her son and her son's wife are probably one of the top like 5 people that do it. And he sits there and makes up things like, my sister's home is in foreclosure, they've been living in motels. You can look online, they've owned their house for 8 years. Like, it's little things like this, like saying that like insinuating her other 2 children aren't safe because they don't even have a home. They've lived in the same place before these children have even been born. And they sit there, and it's her son mostly, and then her son's wife goes off of it and makes all these jokes and all these things, and it creates all these lies towards our family and all these speculations. And her saying that she had no idea. It's your son that really aggs it on and makes things up. So how do you not know?
And she comments onto those posts of her son, so she does know. And then it's the same thing why we were so upset with Patricia Byers and her prayer. It wasn't the fact that she was praying, it's the fact that she has credibility in the community and she's posting on a hate page. The fact that Liz is supposed to be a family member and she's posting on this hate page saying these false things about the family, of course they're going to believe them. They're going to be like, oh, their family members are even saying this. When it's things that are like blatantly lies, just like the Facebook page. You don't get blocked off of our Facebook page unless you are directly like threatening or calling the family names, or if you're saying, oh no, we know you did it, and things like that. And then the posts that don't get approved are posts that are either like leads that we've already like dealt with, new leads coming in, or again a speculation, which our page is not a speculation page. It is a page for us to post updates, us to post facts, and us to filter out hateful comments.
Yeah.
And then just like I said, she is talking about how she's seen flyers and posters and things like that. Those are the things that the family has been able to make and like get processed and have them in our possession. But like she has never thought once to reach out to us for those resources and things like that.
Well, that's unfortunate because that's definitely what I would have done, is reach out to who had them already, to put on my property.
Yes. And like her thing with the YPD page, we saw that and we talked about, me and my sister Sarah, who's with me, we were just talking about how we should also post that post on our page, because we should get our followers to also do that. There's things like that where you can have different opinions of the family, but if you have something helpful like that and you see that we have different followers than you, why wouldn't you post, hey, here's this suggestion? It's also the fact that we would probably take out part of it, because she has part of it saying, why isn't the family being questioned more? Have you looked into the family and things like that? Which if it shows ignorance, because that just like they ruled out the family within the first few days, like they would for any case.
Yes, they did. I only laugh because there was a group that was doing media outreach for Michael that we don't know. They're off social media, and they have their own like fact sheet that they send out to the news, and it sounds a lot like that. There's a lot of like, Tyler said he went to do this, and according to the mom, blah, 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 and a lot of added rhetoric and bias. And I don't know that people realize that it is their bias they're interjecting when they speak like that and when they write like that. But that's exactly what it is. So if someone's putting letters like that saying that, about your family, then that's exactly it. Their bias is coming through in their writing and how they are approaching news outlets about you. So I would take it out too. You can ask.
And it's not even just what they're saying.
I've taken things out and said we're not gonna support this, and we're not gonna work with this person because they are making statements like this, you know, over on this other platform, and we will not be interviewed with them, you know, or work with them because of that.
And it's not even what they have to say about the family. You can say whatever you would like to about us. It's just the fact that they're also spreading misinformation. You can say, oh, Sandra and Juan use drugs, when they have been very open and very clear that no, that is not true, and as well as the police department. But like the fact that it's bringing like people who are threatening to rape us and like to come and actually harm us, that's where it's like a problem. Like I don't see how that anybody
it's
sees.
a massive problem. And when people, but even, you know, and that's just fine if they want to be open, but when people are making speculations and saying the parents are drug addicts, when they do that and their following believe them, and this has happened to Brandy and Tyler, like, oh, they're drug addicts and they somehow are, you know, negligent, and so therefore, you know, deserve this to happen or something. And what they're doing is they're again taking away attention for Lucian, causing more false stories to be spread instead of true stories, and therefore taking resources away because people will believe that instead of believing that Lucian is out there with an abductor. And that's where the danger lies, in spreading your opinion.
Exactly. Yeah, that's our thing with that, is that the fact that you're saying the family did something to him, when there's a very big possibility that somebody has him. And there's all these people who are focused on the family, of what the family did. What did the family do to him? What did the family do to him? But like, why aren't you looking into the very big possibility that he is with somebody? We have gotten all of the resources that we have, as in like search teams and dive teams and drones and sonar technology and things like that. So we don't believe that he's just out lost. He's not just out here somewhere. We believe that he's with someone. And them, how you said, making everybody stop and look at the family instead, which is mostly what that Facebook page is. It makes it so that people aren't like questioning the police, like, why aren't you looking more for abductor? Why aren't you looking at kidnapping? Why aren't you looking for this? Why aren't you looking for that? Her post that she posted about going to the YPD, again, that was a really good idea, and we do see a lot of comments saying, is there a kidnapper in our community, where parents are scared, we need answers and things like that. The only thing we would have changed is the fact that she included, why aren't we looking into the family more? Those things were a good idea, and there's other ideas through that group that are ideas that we don't mind, and things like that. It's just the threats.
Well, it goes back to respecting the boundaries of the family, and that's something that I shared, you know, to Elizabeth earlier, and to anyone listening as well. And I've told this to Brandy before. I come up with ideas all the time, and sometimes she's like, yeah, that's great, let's do that. And other times she's like, nope, talk to Tyler, and we really feel more comfortable doing this instead. And I think that people have to understand and respect boundaries. And we have a hard time with that as a society, especially when things are in the news and in the public. Then we tend to take ownership of it, and we feel it's now ours because it's public. And that's kind of, again, what I was saying, that, you know, try to, even though you are personally affected as a community by a child's disappearance, like I was sharing to Elizabeth, again, try not to take it personally, because people tend to get personally invested in such a way where their ownership is that I don't even know what the word is I'm looking for, and Brandy might be able to help me out with this because the people on Twitter did it. But it's like they're all, I'm here for the kid, but they're also attacking, bashing the family, and they're justifying those behaviors because they're there for the child, and they feel they're right and they're entitled because of said ownership, because they've invested time, money, you know, volunteered, made posters, bought ads, you know, whatever they did. So they take that personal ownership, which is what I'm trying to maybe badly explain here. Maybe someone's understanding me, I don't know. But that's what I kind of see happening with some of these groups in Lucian's case too. It's like they want to help, and that side of it's genuine, but then they get so invested that it becomes so personal in that other way that's not necessarily positive or helpful.
Yeah, I understand that too. And that's but another thing with that is just the fact that they are putting misinformation on their page, things that aren't correct about Lucian's case in general. Um, and it's just doesn't, it's not helpful when there's misinformation going out there and people are speaking on
No,
facts
you
that they're
should
claiming
fight
are
that at
facts when
every chance you get, Amy. I would stand right behind you and fight it too. I've been very loud about that. There's been a lot of things that happened with Michael's case too. I mean, they put recordings out to try to say that a vehicle had been cleared when it has not, even to this day as we speak, been cleared. And that was extremely damaging to Michael's case. So anytime you need help with that, I'm all for it. I'm on team Amy to fight misinformation any day.
Let's let Brandy speak for a second, and then we're going to wrap this one up. I didn't want this to go this way today, but I would love to come back. Amy, if you guys are free on Monday, I would love to have you guys on panel on Monday.
Yes, we would. And we apologize. We didn't come into,
You're fine. You're fine.
Again, it's just hard to, as we said before, it's hard to have, especially somebody who's a family member come in and claim to be so. And again, yes, she does care about Lucian. I'm sure she does. It's just the fact that she is saying that she's helpful, and the things that she's doing is, there's a lot of things she's doing is untrue and unhelpful and have damaged Lucian's case. So I apologize for coming in and creating such hot tension.
Oh, you're fine. We'll get you back on Monday. We'll get you back on Monday. So, what were you saying, Brandy?
Hi, Amy. I'm Brandy Neal. I'm Michael Joseph Vaughn's mama.
It's nice to meet you, Brandy.
I just want to extend my hand out to you and your sister. I have been in contact with Sandra. When she's ready and she'd like to talk, just if any way I can support you all. Your feelings and everything you guys are going through right now are beyond valid. Do you have, I'm sorry, I came in late. Does your family have a Facebook page that is set up that is not a Facebook page? Because we experienced very to a T what you're going through, the threats, the lies, the misinformation. Do you have someone that you can trust to where you all can support each other and be focused on, advocating for Lucian? That would be one suggestion I would put out there for you all, to run that page. We have strict rules in the community page for Michael. There is another page out there that had quite a big following and was very damaging and very hurtful and caused a lot of disruption in Michael's case, as well as our family and our children's lives. Some of the comments that I was seeing, though, I want to address this real quick. Sandra and Jose, they can speak when they're ready. They're missing their baby.
Juan. Sandra.
Juan, excuse me, Juan. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Sorry, Juan, I'm sorry. They're missing their baby, and they're probably not eating. They're probably not sleeping. They're at a heightened emotion every second of the day until they have information or answers to where he is or he comes home. So don't bash the parents. That's not kind. They need support right now. As much as everybody needs to be vigilant and looking for Lucian, they need support just as much, because they need to stay strong for when he comes home. So give them some grace. From one mama of a missing baby to another, give this family some grace. So, Amy, I would like to, if you can talk to Levi anytime if you guys have any questions or anything, some of the things we've done with law enforcement or as advocacy. If I can help in any way, I would love to be able to help your family. Lucian has become near and dear to my heart. And what I see going on, it breaks my heart for your entire family, because our family has lived that now for 444 days. So it's been a long time. But if we can help, I would love to be able to stay strong, keep your heads up, and be a good support for each other. Find people that you can trust that will help support you and the entire family. And let's not forget that Lucian is the priority to be brought home. So I just wanted to come and
Perfect. Well
introduce
said.
myself.
And
Have a good
that
day.
is the perfect ending to this live. And Amy and Lana, Brandy, anybody else, you guys are welcome to come back on Monday, and we can go over some other stuff in Lucian's case and get stuff set up. And I'll be in contact with you all. And I want to thank Brandy for coming up here. And thank Amy and Liz. Thank you. And Lana, thank you.
Yeah, I
And,
want to say thank you to Brandy as well. It's always reassuring, especially to Sandra. I know she's been in contact with Sandra before, and just so that it makes her not feel so alone in all of this. So yeah, thank you, Brandy.
Yes.
And Amy, you are in my messenger. We're already talking. So again, once you get all of that, you know, those applications and are connected with the organizations I already put you in touch with, if you need more resources, I do have more. I can just start piecemealing out to you so you're not overwhelmed. But I am here. Just, you know, reach out.
Yeah, we would love for you to send those. We have filled out all of the ones that you did send to us.
Yay. Oh, good.
So
Wonderful.
just keep filing them in. We fill them out as we get them. So yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Perfect. As I always say, thank you, ladies, for being here today. As I always say, this is about Lucian. He's a missing 5-year-old out of Yakima, Washington. He went missing on September 10th. Everybody, please grab a poster and share one today. Let's share it on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, if you have a YouTube channel. Share it everywhere. And Amy, we will be in contact with one another over the weekend, okay? And then we'll set something up for Monday afternoon.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I'll be in contact with you, okay?
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. All righty. As I always say, we're just going to cut this one short. This isn't how the live was supposed to go. And be kind to one another. And let's put some blue sharks and some blue hearts and some blue fishes out there for Lucian. Now let's share some posters today. As I always say, if you see something, say something. Thank you, everybody, for being here.